Thank you. Mahadev, 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 Mahadev. Is the sound okay?
Hari Om Swamiji. It is okay, Swamiji.
All right. Ajay, just a question.
Ji.
Question, Aradhana.
Ji, Swamiji.
When it goes live, can somebody tell if this light is too much or the light should be reduced?
Swamiji, I watch you live on YouTube as well on the side. So it is all okay. Maybe somebody else can also give their feedback.
Can somebody please tell me?
If someone...
The light is okay.
This light is
okay. Yes, it's okay.
Yeah, day before yesterday, somebody sent a message saying that the light is, if the light can be reduced a little bit.
Swamiji, we can try. It is okay for us because we have got used to seeing you like this. But if we can do a trial of seeing in a reduced light, if we can just see, and then some of us can give a feedback. And I will see on the YouTube also. On the
Look at this. This is reduced light.
Just a moment, Swamiji. Let me see you on YouTube as well. Swamiji, it's appearing all right. What do you say, Anand? Any feedback from your side?
And this is increased.
Swamiji, this is okay. Light is okay.
It's okay?
Yes. Perfectly well.
Yes, Swamiji.
But whatever. Now we can begin. Shivaya Namaha, Shivaya Namaha, Shivaya Namaha. Om Yo Brahmanam vidadhati purvam yo vai vedanscha prahinoti tasmai tam hadevamatma buddhi prakasham mumukshurvai sharanamaham prapadye. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartribhyo Vamsharishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha Sarvopaplavarahitaha Prajnanaganaha Pratyagartho Brahmaivahamasmi Brahmaivahamasmi. Om. Vedantartha vibhasakaya gurave Shantaya sannyasine Nanavadi nagendra sanghapavaye Yogindra vandyaya cha Mohadvanta divakaraya bhagavat padabhidham bibhrate Tasmai bhashyakೃತೆ namostu satatam Purnaya bodhatmane. Om. Brahmaham yat prasadena Mayi Vishwam Prakalpitam Shrimad Swayam Prakashakhyam Pranavami Jagatan Guru Yah Paramatma Jagat Srishtva Pravivesha Punaswayam Tam Krishnam Pratyagatmanam Vande Gopi Manoharam Yasya prasadadahamadvayatma Vishwam samastam mayi kalpitancha Tan sarvalokaika gurum sadashri Swayam prakasham gurumanatosmi Gurunam charanam bhojam Pranipatya nirantaram Tatkripa dvaita Chinta kaustuhamarabheyo. In the topic of showing how this categorization of the anatma padartha into sthula, sukshma and karana sharira even includes the panchakoshas. The author further says, so we have seen that the annamaya kosha, the food sheath, is the sthula sharira. Sthula sharira means not, don't use the word as colloquially as we use it. Sthula just does not mean stout. It does not mean stout. Sthula over here means grossified. Okay? It means grossified. Something which is measurable, something which is uh, physically, in terms of height, weight, it can be measured, and something which is detected, seen, illumined by the Indriyas, then we are going to call that as Sthula. Okay. So Sthula Sharira, this gross body, is also called as Annamaya Kosha. There is a very interesting thing behind the word kosha. You know, we all know that how a silkworm develops the cocoon around itself. And the story of the silkworm is that then it develops the cocoon. Actually, every caterpillar of that kind, every worm of that kind, and that whatever species, then they weave a cocoon around themselves out of their own saliva, and it stays trapped inside for certain period. But the story of, and eventually when it is able to transform into the moth or a butterfly, then it breaks the cocoon and leaves it. But the story with this silkworm is quite pathetic. Pathetic in the sense, very pitiful. That it develops the cocoon and then gets trapped inside, and the people who want to make silk out of it will take the cocoon and throw it into the boiling water. Thus, the worm that is inside then cannot escape, cannot say, cannot even scream, and dies into the boiling water. And then the silk, what do they call, thread, the string is achieved from that cocoon. The saliva becomes that saliva, which has become the cocoon. Now can be taken without breaking of the cocoon. Breaking its what do they call, continuity. Now this cocoon in Sanskrit is called as kosha. Is called as kosha. So also the scabbard of the sword is also called as kosha. So kosha is this cocoon. Now calling all, whether it is the gross body or the subtle body, and categorizing it and giving it a name as kosha, the significance is that identifying with it as if trapped in it. These are all the levels of identities that we carry. The moment one has said that he is a man or a woman or young, old, stout and tall, so on and so forth, that person is definitely talking about the physical body. And now the I, the self, is taken for the physical body, as the physical body. Thus, that which is the modification of the food, and hence it is called as annamaya. The maya pratyay, mayat pratyay, which is added to the word to make it maya, means modification or prachurya. Okay? It is meant to say vikara or prachurya. Prachurya means its denseness. If there is more sugar than required in the coffee, you are going to say it is prachura. Like that, but with the anna, the food, etc., it is not prachuryam, it is modification, vikararthe. The food is modified into this body, and therefore the body, this physical body, is called as Annamaya. It becomes a kosha, and therefore it is called as Annamaya kosha, under which the self seems to be hidden. It covers the self, hides the self, and therefore it is called as Annamaya. So, Annamaya kosha, Pranamaya kosha, Manomaya kosha, and Vijnanamaya kosha. We have seen what is called as Pranamaya kosha. We have seen what is Pranamaya kosha. The pranas along with the karmendriyas is called as Pranamaya kosha. What is Manomaya kosha? The author over here subscribes to the idea that Manomaya kosha is the karmendriyas plus the mind, just the mana, is called as Manomaya kosha. Then the Jnanendriyas plus the Buddhi is called as Vijnanamaya kosha. And we have reached up to this point. Now the fifth kosha, so the first is Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya. Now we are at the fifth kosha because there are pancha koshas only, and every kosha becomes an identity behind which the self seems to be hidden, is as if lost. So here we are on the fifth one, which is called as Anandamaya kosha. And Anandamaya kosha, in the Brahma Sutras, etc., even in the Taittiriya Upanishad, we see that it is modification of Ananda. How is it modification of Ananda? In fact, it is Prachuryam also and modification both. Ananda, being the nature of this self, cannot undergo any modification. Ananda means the self itself. Therefore, in Ananda, there is no modification. In the joy, there is no modification. Yet, it appears to be undergoing modification, somewhere less, somewhere more. And this is what our experience is. I enjoy this more, then I enjoy that thing. I enjoy this most. Do we don't say that there is more enjoyment in this than the other one? So now over here, in enjoying something more than the other one, you find there is the intensity of joy is more associated in one experience, and therefore there is prachuryam, as well as it is what, how does it become modification? We will see that. But presently, we are going to look at Anandamaya Kosha. Now, as an introduction to explaining what is the Anandamaya Kosha, the author goes further on page number 78 in the second paragraph. Antakaranasya sattva-vrittir dvividha. This antakaranam, now I'm going to use the technical words. So one has to be really very alert and not, take it very casually. Here down, further down, using the technical words will give us a more leverage to proceed with precision and with a little more speed. Antakaranam, the inner equipment. Now we understand this antakaran is fourfold, etc. Along with that, the antakaranam by itself is what? Sattva is consisting of Sattva Guna in dominance. It is predominantly what? The Sattva Guna. That does not mean the other gunas are not there. The other gunas are also there, but Sattva Guna is its principal guna, attribute, the building material. Now, Antakaranasya Sattva Vrittihi. Now, this Antakarana, the inner instrument, has Sattva Guna, which has got two expressions. One is Nishchaya Vritti, and the second one is Sukhakara Vritti. Nishchaya Vritti means the Vritti, the cognition where there is certainty. And where do you have certainty? Where do you have certainty? It is only in knowledge there is certainty. It is only in knowledge. Knowledge about anything has certainty. Correct? So, when the vritti, the modification of antakarana, and which modification, which is again predominantly sattva-guna, that vritti, that cognition, which is nishchayatmika, which is in form of certainty, definiteness, is one. And the second vritti is sukhakara vritti, in the form of joy. It is in the form of experience of joy. So thus sukhakara vritti. These are the two modifications of the cognition which belongs to the antakarana, and these cognitions are basically sattva guna pradhana. Okay, so this is said in so less words and with perfect precision over here when we use the technical words. Antakaranasya sattva vritti dvividha, nishchaya vritti sukhakara vrittishcha. Finished. Now you see, that which can be said with such precision in so limited words is because of the use of those technical words. And therefore, people who have a complaint, oh no, Swamiji, too many Sanskrit words and too many jargonistic words, we want something that. No, this is all laziness of the intelligence. It is basically laziness. A person refuses to cooperate and be a part of the process of knowledge. Oh, no, this is very heavy. What is heavy? It is simply you are able to understand so many things. You are able to understand politics and schemes and the cunningness of people. Why aren't you able to understand things which are as simple as this? Because one doesn't want to. Because he wants something else. And therefore, for Shravana, etc., also, the teachers have said, even the Upanishads have said, the Shravanam should be done with Viveka, Vairagya, Shamadama, and Mumuksha. Just a little topic which is out of this present orbit, and that is this. Even to listen to Vedanta, one requires certain qualification. Even to listen to Vedanta, one requires certain qualifications, which means certain qualities must be present. And when these qualities are present in prachura matra, in with more intensity, then your shravanam, mananam, nididhyasanam will become successful. Otherwise, things are taught and we didn't learn. One can say that in a jocular manner. That's why this viveka, vairagya, etc. is required. Anyway, sukhakara vrittishchaiti. These are the two vrittis. Nishchaya vritti and sukhakara vritti. Vritti, which is in the form of joy, experience of joy. Nishchaya vritti madantakkaranam buddhiriti uchyate. When the antakkaranam, when this inner instrument has modified into the form of certainty, definiteness of cognition, it is called as intelligence, because it is knowledge. So over here, buddhi, and it is called as the intellect. Sukhakara vritti madantakkaranam bhoktritvopadhi. Now the teacher is taking us to the Anandamaya Kosha. And he says, Sukhakara vritti madantakkaranam. When the antakkaranam has the cognition of joy, in the cognition which is in the form of joy. Okay? In the form of joy. That time what happens? Antakkaranam bhoktritva upadhihi. It is a conditioning through which now the Atma, the self, is going to be seen as the experiencer. So that which, the conditioning which makes the self appear as a bhokta, as an experiencer, is this conditioning, is this vritti. Which vritti is that? Sukhakara vritti. It belongs to the antakkaranam. So when the antakkaranam has sukhakara vritti, then the self is going to appear as bhokta, is going to appear as bhokta, as the experiencer. A little bit more on this little topic. If you remember, during the Jivan Mukti Viveka classes, when we were discussing Jivan Mukti Viveka, in the very beginning of the text, it was said that as long as the mind is going to be there, which means how long the mind is going to be there, even of a jnani, till the body mind exists, till the prarabdha is there. As long as the prarabdha is there, the mind is going to be still available. And when the mind is there, the mind definitely is going to modify, which means this antakkaranam is definitely going to modify. And when the modification is in the form of sukhakara vritti, it will become bhokta. The bhokta, the self, will be seen as bhokta. And so, as long as the antakkaranam is there, till then, even in case of a jnani, aham sukhi, aham dukhi will also occur. Though now he knows it without any doubt that this aham, that this self, that the meaning of this I is Brahman, yet because of the upadhi, there is going to be identification, there is going to be this sense aham bhokta iti. And this kartritvam and bhoktritvam is definitely bandha, is definitely a bandha, though falsified, though you know it is false, yet its appearance is a botheration. Yet its appearance is a botheration, though it is falsified, though it is badhitam, though he knows aham brahmaiti. And therefore, Vidyaranya Swami over there says, or even Vasishtha Rishi says, that in order for the mukti, for the moksha, like state to be there even whilst living, what would be the thing that is required then? Then the kartrutvam and bhoktrutvam should not be seen. Not only that it is falsified, it is already falsified by the knowledge, but it should not be even seen. And there they say, for that reason, samadhi abhyasa is required. Therefore, for videha kaivalyam, only is knowledge. But when you want Jivan Mukti, what is required? Samadhi Abhyasa is also required, because now this bandha of kartrutvam and bhoktritvam should not be there. But what is the conditioning because of which the bhoktritvam appears? It is the sukhakara vritti. Got it? It is the antakaranam which has modified as sukhakara vrittihi. And therefore it is called as bhoktritva upadhi. It is what? It is an upadhi, the conditioning. And this conditioning now makes the self appear as bhokta. Bhoktritva upadhi. Here we go. Tasya priyameva shiraha modo dakshinapakshaha pramoda uttarapakshaha ananda atma brahmapuchham pratishtha ityadi shrutehe ayameva karana paryantam anandamaya koshaha. Now he has brought the taita, the shruti, the pramanam, not to support, but to show from where the knowledge is drawn. So if this pramanam is there with you, you will also have the same knowledge. So all that we require is to acquire the pramana. This process of acquisition of pramana is also shravanam. If you have not heard Atma is Brahman, how will you even know Atma is Brahman? Acquisition of the pramana is first requisite. So here is the pramana. Tasya priyame. Therefore, when handling the Upanishad, it is not, how to make adjustments with wife and children and things like that. Hey, it is a pramanam. Better be very, very careful. Because if the pramana is not properly acquired, the knowledge is bound to be wrong, erroneous. That's why the Upanishad should be handled very, very carefully. Now here it goes. Tasya priyameva shiraha. Tasya. Now tasya means kasya? Anandamaya koshasya. In the Taittiriya Upanishad, a very interesting exercise is done. The 5 koshas are introduced to us, and the koshas are now seen in the form of a bird, tittari. Tittar pakshi. What is tittar called in English?
Partridge, Swamiji.
Huh?
Partridge.
Partridge. Okay, partridge. So the bird has a head, the torso, the wings, the tail, and obviously the legs. On a very broad uh, classification, these are the parts of the bird's body. Taking this, now he in a sense, the Upanishad says, Tasya priyameva shiraha. Our experience is taken. Our experience is taken over here. Your experience of happiness is how? So you see that we can say that we experience happiness some in general. Then there is happiness which is more intense than the general, and happiness which we can say is as if it is the highest. Okay, like somebody whom you love very much, then this person is living somewhere very far away, and he or she announces to you that he is soon coming, and then you are overjoyed. You are overjoyed in the sense that you have this feeling of happiness. Here is a person whom I love so much is coming. Maybe your son, husband, wife, it could be anything, girlfriend, but someone, and here is an announcement, here I'm coming home. Now that news itself has made you happy. Then the day actually arrives when you see the person, coming out of the airport or on the railway station. You see him, you spot him. You are happy, but you are more happy than just receiving the news that he is coming. And then finally, when you are able to hold your son or the girlfriend or whoever in your arms, actually hug him tight, it's highest. So over there, it is the sukham is experienced, the joy is experienced, but we can say in these 3 degrees of comparison: the positive, the comparative, and the superlative degree. So taking that as our experience as the base, tasya priyameva shiraha. So that which is positive is called as Priyam. Okay? Priyam. Priyam. Priyameva Shiraha. So in this Tittari bird, in this partridge, there is the head is called as Priya, the first. Then Modo Dakshina Pakshaha. Moda, where there is comparatively more happiness, is called as Moda. And where you see aha is called as Pramod. Is Pramod. Pramoda Uttara Pakshaha. Ananda Atma. And all this, the head, the left wing, the right wing is all connected to the torso. Okay, is all connected to the torso. So now this Anandamaya Kosha is what is modifying as Priya, Moda, and Pramoda. But where is it all founded? From where is even this Ananda in that Kosha also coming? So it is coming from Brahman. Brahma Pucham Pratishtha. This Pucham means the tail. The tail is seen over here as the foundation. So the foundation is Brahman. So Brahma Pucham Pratishtha iti. Ityadi Shrutehe Ayameva Karana Paryantam. Now we have said it is the Antakaranasya Vritti. But beginning from the Vritti part up to the Karana Deha, Avidya, from here up to Avidya is Anandamaya Kosha. So even in the Jagrat Avastha where you are experiencing all these things, the various degrees of joy is Anandamaya Kosha. So therefore, up to the Avidya, it is Anandamaya Kosha. Karana Paryantam Anandamaya Kosha. But there are some teachers in our own tradition who say that Anandamaya Kosha is only Avidya. What is the difference? Here the author says, beginning from the vritti of the Antakaranam. Antakaranam by itself is falling into Sukshma Sharira. Okay, as the Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha. But the same Antakarana's one vritti, which is Sukhakara vritti, beginning from there up to the Avidya, Karana Sharira, is called as Anandamaya Kosha. This is what the author has to offer. But he does not forget to mention the difference of opinion that some other teachers have regarding the Anandamaya Kosha. And they say, Kechittu Ashyanam Anandamaya Kosham Vadanti. But some of them do say that it is only the Ashyanam, it is only the Avidya, which is Anandamaya Kosha. Ignorance is Anandamaya Kosha. Iti vadanti. Okay. So now the five koshas, so the same thing is now brought to you as the five koshas. There is overlapping of certain things. Okay. So Kechittu Anandamaya Kosham Vadanti Ajnanameva Anandamaya Kosham iti vadanti. Idam Sukshma Shariram saptadashalingam dvividham samashti vyashti bhedat. Now, this topic of showing that the five koshas are not nothing different, but they are included when we are going to talk about the sthula sharira, sukshma sharira, and karana sharira. So under this is the model. But that does not mean that panchakoshas are not included. The panchakoshas are well included in these three categories. Sukshma shariram, so this subtle body, which we have said, is consisting of 17 parts, and every part is an indication. That's why it is Saptadasha Lingatmakam. Okay, it is a linga, an indication. So Sukshma Shariram Saptadasha Lingam Dvividham. This Sukshma Sharira, the subtle body, is also twofold. Okay, is also now twofold. What is it? Samashti and Vyashti. The totality and the individuality. Okay, the total and the individual. That what is samashti is totality. Vyashti is individuality. So samastam, that which is total, samastam. Now totality and total, there is a little difference. The total has totality. So now that which is samastam is total, and that what is vyastam is vyashti. Okay. What is samashti vyashti? Tasya kartrutvopaditve pramanam. Where is it? No. Samashti vyashti bhedat. Okay. Oh, we missed the commentary part of it. We are in the original text. We'll have to take a little U-turn and go to the commentary section for the lines that we have covered in the original Moola Grantha, original text. Okay, let's go there. In the commentary part, the second paragraph over there. Anandamaya kosham vyutpadayatum sattva vrittim vibhajate. Now, in order to explain what is Anandamaya kosha, the teacher divides and shows the difference between the two forms of cognition. What are the two forms of cognitions that are used? Sukhakara vritti and Nishchayatmika vritti. Okay. Okay. So Anandamaya kosham vyutpadayitum sattva vrittim vibhajate antakaranasya iti. Tataha kim iti aha. What is that? What is from there? Nishchaya vrittimat. By doing this, we understand that what is how is this Atma, how is this self, then how is this self experienced as karta, and karta meaning the doer and the experiencer. Okay. The self by itself, this I, is neither the doer nor the experiencer, is not the karta nor bhokta. If the self is not, then what is it that makes even this self appear as karta and bhokta? What is it that makes this self appear as the doer and the experiencer? So obviously now there is some condition because of which Atma will appear as karta and Atma will appear as Bhokta. Aham karta, aham bhokta. Now this experience is possible because of a conditioning. A condition is there. Like the light by itself is transparent and clean. Okay, Shuddha. But if you have a red colored glass pane through which the light filters and falls in your room, the light in your room will appear red. So there is a conditioning because of which a condition is there in between, because of which the clean light now appears as red. The Atma is Shuddha, bereft. There is nothing like Atma is not Karta Bhokta, and yet Atma appears as Karta and Bhokta. That means there is a condition. What is that condition? Because of which Atma appears as Karta and Bhokta. So, telling now that it is because of this Nishchayatmika Vritti, Atma appears as Karta Bhokta. Sorry, Karta. And it is because of this Sukhakara Vritti, Atma appears as Bhokta. Okay? Tatah Kim. So even if you have now said that Antakaranam has got these two vrittis, and this is the beginning for you to give us an explanation about Anandamaya Kosha, even if you have said Antakaranam has two vrittis, where has it led to? In our clear understanding about what upadhi, what is the conditioning that has made the Atma appear as Karta and Bhokta. So there is a Kartritva upadhi, there is a Bhoktritva upadhi. The Nishchayatmika vritti becomes the upadhi for Atma to become Karta, appear as Karta, not become, appear as Karta. And the Sukhakara vritti becomes the upadhi for Atma to be called as Bhokta. Okay, commentary part. Tasyaha Vijnanamaya Koshatvat. Okay, why? That is also there. Tad upadhiko jivaha karta jnata pramata iti cha uchyate. Because with this Vijnanamaya Kosha, which is basically the Nishchayatmika Bhutti, okay, because it is Buddhi. Now, this Atma will be called as Karta, the doer. That is the seat of the ego. And therefore, with ego means now over here, there is a deep identification with Vijnanamaya Kosha. With Vijnanamaya Kosha. So, Karta, Jnata, the knower, the doer, and Pramata, the experiencer. In the sense, Pramata is also knower only in a way. Pramata iti cha uchyate. Then further, Sukhakara vrittimadantakarnasya bhoktrutvopadhitve pramanam aha. Do you have any pramana, an evidence, a proof to show? Pramanam now can be, now since you people understand the meaning of word pramana, I have taken this liberty of using the word evidence, etc. Do you have an evidence to show that it is because of the Sukhakara vritti that Atma is called as Bhokta? Called in the sense you only recognize Am Bhokta iti. Who else is there? Somebody else does not come to teach you. You are Bhokta, you are Bhokta. Like you require somebody else from outside world to tell you you are beautiful, you are ugly. Huh? You're holy, you're profane. You would require somebody else, an outer agency. But to say Aham Karta, Aham Bhokta, do you require any external agency? No. So what is the condition? So what is the proof that it is just this Sukhakara Vritti, which has become the Upadhi? For one to call himself as Bhokta. Here he says, yes, there is. Tasya. So now that particular Shruti, Taittariya Shruti is that Pramana. Okay. Then Tasyati. Ayam Bhoktrutvopadhihi Karana Paryantam. Karana Paryantam means Ajnana Paryantam. Karana Paryantam means up to Ajnanam. Now the Sukhakara Vritti, beginning from Sukhakara Vritti, right up to the Ajnanam, which is the Karan, which is the cause. This is the range of Anandamaya Kosha. This is Anandamaya Kosha. Okay? I am Bhokt, and it is the Bhoktrutva Upadhi. I am Bhoktrutva Upadhi, Karana Paryantam, Ajnana means Ajnana Paryantam, Anandamaya Kosha Upadhikash Chidatma, Bhokta iti Uchyate iti Bhavaha. Pakshantaram aha kechittu iti. So the different opinions that our own teachers from the same tradition, they have. The difference of opinion is not that, no, this Atma is not Brahman. That is not the difference. Over here, just this. In Siddhanta, everybody agrees. Atma is Brahman. Atma is Brahman. Ayam Pakshash Chintaniyaha. But he also says, even this Paksha, where Ajnanam alone is considered to be the Anandamaya Kosha, this Paksha, this opinion is something that requires more verification, chintanam. It should be thought, it should be analyzed, it should be contemplated upon. Okay. So ayam pakshash chintaniyaha. He does not even refute. He's saying that they are wrong. But what does he say? Ayam chintaniyaha. Because even they have also used some yukti to make it upapanna. So he just leaves it over there and continues with the opinion that beginning from the Sukhakara Vritti up to Ajnanam is Anandamaya Kosha. This Anandamaya Kosha is the conditioning because of which Chidatma, Shuddhatma appears as the pure consciousness, appears as the experiencer. I am enjoyer, I am experiencer. This claim, because of which, okay, iti vadanti. Okay, now panchakoshan vyutpadya sukshma shariram vibhajate. Then we are turning back to our original topic. In between, just to show you that how panchakoshas are also accommodated. It is a different model. but they are also, it can easily be, it is accommodated in sthula sukshma karana dehas. Okay, nothing else. So coming back, idam sukshma shariram. So let us go back to the sukshma sharira, the subtle body, in that model only of explanation. Yes, idam sukshma shariram saptadashalingam dvividham. So this subtle body, which is linga sharira, because it is also saptadasha lingatmakam, okay, is twofold. Samashti vyashti bheda, as totality and as the individuality. Individuality is a part of the total. Okay. So as the part and the whole, it is dvividham. What is samashti? What is vyashti? What is the samashti of sukshma sharira? What is the vyashti of sukshma sharira? Let us see when we meet next. Om Brahmaham yat prasadena Mayi Vishwam Prakalpitam Srimad Swayam Prakashakhyam Pranamami Jagatam Guru Yah Paramatma Jagat Srishtva Pravivesha Punasvayam Tan Krishnam Pratyagatmanam Vande Gopi Manoharam Yasya prasadadahamatvayatma Vishwam samastam mayi kalpitancha Tan sarvalokaika gurum sarashri Swayam prakasham gurumanatosmi Gurunam charanam khojam Pranipatya nirantaram Tatkripa leshato dvaita Chintakostu mamarabhe. Om